everyone, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, my name is Daria. Today we are working with a creative yoga sequence. So coming up with creative sequences is one of my favorite ways to freshen up a yoga practice when things are feeling a little bit old or stuck, and it's also a great way to spark inspiration to get out of the mind and feel more into the body, letting everything be moving from the inside out, which if you have been practicing with me here, you know I'm all about that. So all you'll need for this class is yourself and some place to move. We'll be working with some unique and different transitions between postures and shapes. Whenever you're ready, let's get right into it. We'll begin seated today. So if you're not already, make your way to Sukhasana, an easy seat. Start by closing your eyes. Feel your sitting bones root deeply into the earth, and then begin to crawl your spine up toward the sky. Soften your shoulders down your back and lift the crown of your head. Palms can face either down or up on your thighs, whatever feels the best. Start to become aware of your body. Send your awareness through every fiber. So you can imagine that your awareness is like floating in a submarine, and the submarine is exploring all the way from the crown of your head, down your shoulders, down your arms, into your torso, and then all the way into your roots, down the legs, and to the feet. Notice right away any emotions or sensations, points of tension, anything that's arising with this awareness, and just settle into it without trying to change anything. And then we'll start to deepen the breath. As you inhale, feel the breath move from the root of where you're sitting through the middle column of your spine, all the way up through the crown of your head. And then let the exhale wash that breath down the same stream from crown of head down to your roots. Take a big full inhale through your nose. And an exhale out either through your nose or your mouth. If you'd like to clear some residue, let it go through the mouth. Inhale from the base of your pelvis, lift up through your pelvic floor as the air rises to the crown of your head. Then seal your lips at the top, tuck your chin slightly toward your chest, hold the breath, retain the inhale. And then exhale through your nose, let that go. Once more like that. Inhale, as you breathe in, feel the air rise from bottom to top, filling you up. Then it's as if you're sealing the container of your torso. So sweep up through your pelvic floor and tuck chin to chest to hold the breath, retain, relax your shoulders. And exhale, let the breath go through your nose. And then start to incorporate Ujjayi breath in and out through your nose. And as you continue deepening the breath, start to ask yourself what creativity feels like in your body. What needs to be in place in order for you to feel your most creative? Maybe there are a few boundaries that need to be imposed in order for the freedom to feel really free, or perhaps it's more of a limitless creativity, like coloring totally outside of the lines. Whatever it is for you, start to embody creativity throughout. And then we'll begin to move, holding on to these sensations. So blink your eyes open. You can make your way up to a forward fold at the top of the mat. Let's have the feet hips distance apart. Soften the soles of your feet down into the earth. Really claw the mat with your toes and try to feel the texture of the earth beneath you through all the fibers of your feet. And then soften the back of your neck so the crown of your head can pour toward the mat. Whatever you want to do with your arms is great, any variation. And then just start to shift your weight side to side. Allow your spine to glide left and right with these shifts in your feet. Keep your big toes digging down and your pinky toes. See if you can fully relax your spine all the way forward, letting go of any spots that want to round or resist the surrender.
Then hug your belly button in and up towards your spine. Root your feet, micro bend your knees, and we'll rise to stand, rolling up one vertebra at a time, stacking your spine in a perfect pattern so that it all happens sequentially. At the top, shoulders fall away from your ears. Lift your gaze, spin your palms to the top. Take an inhale, sweep your fingertips out and then up overhead. Reach to grab for your left wrist with your right hand, then step your left toes behind you off of your mat. Inhale to lift high, lengthen the line. Then as you exhale, begin to tip your torso toward the right side of your mat. Both shoulders stay softening away from your ears. Stretch your left side body. One more inhale, lengthen even more. And then we'll come back through center, step your left foot back down. Both fingertips reach high. Exhale, left hand hooks your right wrist, right toes step back and off your mat, root them down. Then grow higher and curl your spine. So keep the length. Then imagine that you're arcing up and over toward the left side of the mat. One more inhale. And then come back to center. Root your feet, hips distance apart or together, up to you. Palms come to touch, lift your gaze. Exhale, dive all the way down to a forward fold. Lead with your heart and then sprinkle your fingertips in front of your toes. Take an inhale for a halfway lift. Really stretch out, elongate your heart forward. Then exhale, plant your fingertips, turn your toes out, and begin to sink down to Malasana. So the knees are deeply bent, the pelvis sinks between the heels. Reach forward with your fingertips, keep a lift in the spine, and softly as possible, lower your sitting bones down to the mat. It's okay if you need to use your hands for that transition. Step your palms back behind you with your fingertips pointing toward the back of the mat. And then begin to hook your left ankle over your right thigh, so a figure four shape. Take an inhale to lift up through your spine from pelvic floor to heart, and an exhale just to stay, soften your outer left hip. Keep left toes flexed. Then begin to lift your right arm. We're gonna start to revolve to face the right side of the mat, so right toes point to the right. Keep right palm deeply rooted. Then press into right hand and right foot. Press them down and away from each other to lift your pelvis. Coming into a big side body stretch. So spin your torso toward the side of your mat, the long edge, and we'll stretch the left side body. Keep your right big toe rooted. Keep your left ankle hooked outside of your right thigh. The right knee can be bent, or you can begin to stretch it towards straight. Take one more inhale here, elongate. Then on your exhale, keep your ankle hooked over your thigh, and we'll revolve to downward facing dog with the figure four. So both palms root down, lift your hips up and back. Widen your left knee toward the side, left toes are still flexing. Now inhale, lift your right heel, revolve to face the other long edge of your mat. So we're spinning toward the right, root knife edge of right foot and your right big toe. Then as you inhale, keep your right knee bent and sweep your right arm up high to a cactus shape. Pull your shoulder blades to the back of your heart, inhale. As you exhale, press left hand and right foot away from each other. Maybe stretch right arm over your ear and straighten the right leg. One more inhale. As you exhale, begin to sink your pelvis down toward the earth. So bending back into the right knee. Point your right toes forward and we'll revolve all the way back down to a seat, coming back to that figure four seated position. If you get lost in that transition, that's okay. We'll play with it a couple of times. So from here, unhook your left ankle from the right thigh, root both of your feet down to the top of your mat. Bring your hands to the fronts of your shins. Take an inhale to sweep up from sitting bones to crown of head. Lift your heart, shoulder blades, hug the back body. Exhale, round and curl. Really squeeze your belly button to your spine. One more like that. Inhale, widen your knees, pull on your shins, lift your heart. Exhale, round and curl. Come forward, cross at your ankles, roll over your shins, plant your palms, and step to a high plank pose. Hover your shoulders over your wrists.
Then begin to shift forward. As you exhale, lower chaturanga all the way to your belly. So melt your pelvis, then your heart, and then your chin. Untuck your toes. Reach your arms back behind you. Interlace fingers at the base of your spine. Try to get the heels of your hands to connect. Micro bend your elbows. Draw your shoulder blades to touch. And let this slingshot your heart forward on an inhale. Press the tops of your feet down. Imagine that someone's pulling your wrists back while someone else is pulling your heart forward. Elongating. Curl your heart. Exhale, lower down, undo the interlace of your fingers, plant your palms, tuck your toes, come through hands and knees, and then press your way back to downward facing dog. Take a couple of breaths here to massage your back body and bring in any creative movements that you like. You can pedal your feet, you can wave the hips side to side, anything that feels good. Then begin to gaze to the top of your mat. As you exhale, step or float your feet up to a forward fold. Take an inhale. Halfway lift, elongate. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, root through your feet. Sweep your arms out and then up overhead. Rise to stand. Exhale, grab left wrist with right hand, left toes step back and off your mat. Elongate and then curl toward the right side of your mat. Cinch your right waist to expand the left side body. Then step back, left foot comes down, both fingertips reach up, or all 10 fingertips reach up. Exhale, grab for left wrist or grab for right wrist with left hand, right toes step off the mat. Inhale and exhale, deepen. Right shoulder stays plugging into your body. Inhale, mountain pose, Tadasana, root your feet, lift your palms, lift your gaze. Exhale, swan dive down. Paint the sides of the room with your fingertips and then drop your head at the bottom. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, turn your toes out. Begin to sink all the way to Malasana. Maybe the fingertips stay rooted or maybe they reach forward as you softly land all the way to a seat. Step your feet forward, palms step back, fingers point toward the back of your mat. And this time, we'll hook the right ankle outside of the left thigh, figure 4. Inhale, flex your right toes, lift your heart up. Exhale, stay. Now, begin to spin to face the left side of the mat, the long edge. You can step your left palm a little bit back if that feels okay. Roll your right toes to face the side of your mat. Then begin to press down into left big toe and all 4 corners of your left hand as you sweep your pelvis high, keeping the right ankle hooked. Reach up with your right arm and then maybe forward. Left knee can stay deeply bent. Take an inhale. As you exhale, maybe press left hand and right and left foot away from each other to expand your side body. Left leg might pull more toward straight. Good. Then gaze down, root your right palm, lift your left heel, revolve so you're facing the back of the mat in down dog, but keep that right ankle hooked over left thigh, still in a figure 4 shape. Take an inhale here, lift your tailbone. As you exhale, lift your left heel, root your right palm down, spin to face the other long edge of your mat. So the left heel comes down, left big toe roots. Keep the right ankle hooked. Inhale, stretch out. Left arm can reach all the way forward, bicep beside your ear. One more inhale here. Really squeeze the right side to expand the left side. Then as you exhale, start to spin your left toes to the original top of your mat as you start to sink your pelvis down, land it softly. And then we'll find that figure 4 shape again. If you need to realign on your mat, that's totally cool. Step the right foot down, uncross your ankle, bring palms to your shins. Inhale, widen your knees, stretch up through your heart. Exhale, really squeeze your front body to your back body as you round. Pull on your shins. Inhale, lift your heart, knees wide. Exhale, gaze down toward your navel and watch as it magnetizes toward your back body. Then begin to reach forward, cross at your ankles, roll over the shins. We'll find our high plank pose. Step your toes back. Now, grow longer in your high plank. So stretch back through your heels as you reach forward through the crown of your head. Then on your exhale, lower down halfway, then sink your pelvis, Sink your heart and sink your chin, untuck your toes. Bring your fingers to interlace behind your back. Squeeze shoulder blades together. Puff your heart, then stretch back through your wrists as you lift your heart toward the top of the mat. Stay, or you can play with floating the feet as well. Keep squeezing your inner thighs to the midline, spinning all 10 toes down to face the mat. Take one more inhale to lift up into your back body, grow your heart. And then exhale, softly land everything back down. Undo the grip of your fingers. Plant your palms beside your ribs. Tuck your toes. Come through hands and knees. And then we'll glide back to downward facing dog. Take an inhale here. As you exhale, press the earth down and forward through your palms. Stretch your sitting bones wider. Root down into your right toes, and as you inhale, sweep your left leg high. Then stack left hip over right, bend your knee, bend your right elbow, and bring your forearm to the mat. Try to stretch your left toes as far to the right as they'll go. Keep inviting your heart toward your thigh as you stretch the crown of your head to the top of your mat. Take one more breath here, inhale. As you exhale, stretch left toes high, lift your right heel, lift your right elbow, and round forward into a hollow shape. Hug your left knee to your left tricep. Stay here for a breath in. As you exhale, just lower your left shin down to the mat. Then spin left toes back behind you. We're coming up to stand on the left knee. So root the knife edge of your right foot, spin to face the right side of your mat, rise all the way up. Inhale here. As you exhale, glide your right fingertips down toward your right shin. Left arm stretches up and over. Elongate the left side of your body, gaze inside left elbow crease. And then rise through center, use your obliques. Sprinkle your left fingertips down to the top of your mat. Press your pelvis a little forward as you sweep right fingertips all the way to the top overhead. Take an inhale here. Then begin to revolve your right toes to face the back of your mat. Start to lean a bit into your back body. It's almost like Wild Thing. So shoulder blades plug to the back of your heart to support you. You can take your gaze to follow the right fingertips. Inhale. Exhale, use your core. Come back through the side stretch and we'll rise through center. Now, begin to pivot right toes all the way to the top. If they're not, you can hug the right heel in a bit closer. Stepping to a low lunge. So left toes come back behind you. Align, stack right knee over right ankle. Then as you inhale, sweep your fingertips high, high crescent lunge. Feel the big toe mounds of both of your feet land, and then cinch your waist. Lift rib cage away from pelvis. Then exalt. So the right hand comes down to the back of left thigh. Pull up from your pelvic floor to your heart. Take your left fingertips up and maybe a little back. Lean back. Inhale here. As you exhale, begin to launch forward into your right foot. Sprinkle your left fingertips down and forward and a little bit to the left of your right toes. Revolved half moon. So all 5 of your left toes are still pointing down toward the earth. Grow through all the lines and begin to spiral your left rib cage toward your right rib cage as you keep stretching outer right hip back and left hip forward. Inhale here. And then exhale. Turn your torso back to face the top of your mat. Reach back with right fingertips and then left fingertips. Airplane pose. Inhale, puff your heart. Exhale, rise all the way up to stand, but don't put the left foot down. Just skim the mat with it. Then stretch the left toes forward as your fingertips rise. Inhale, charge both of your quads. As you exhale, we'll step the left foot all the way down beside the right and fold. Take an inhale, halfway lift, shift weight forward into your toes. Pull your fingertips back toward the midline. As you exhale, just fold into yourself again. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your palms, step your feet back, high plank. Lower chaturanga. Untuck your toes, inhale, upward facing dog. Puff your heart to the top. And then exhale, squeeze belly button to spine. Glide back, downward facing dog.
One breath here. Inhale through your nose. And exhale, send the breath, spread the breath anywhere that needs it, anywhere that's sticky. On your next inhale, sweep your right leg high, stack right hip over left, bend your right knee and bend your left elbow, rooting your forearm to the earth. Then stretch your right toes all the way back behind you. Pick up your outer right thigh, keep a micro bend in your left knee, and keep rooting down through your left big toe. Inhale. Then begin to lift your right toes. Pick up your right or your left elbow by pressing down and forward. Left heel lifts. Hug your right knee to your right tricep. Hold here. Lengthen back through left heel, forward through crown of head. Then softly land your right shin all the way down to the mat. Then we'll revolve, spin to face the left side of your mat. Right toes go back behind you, knife edge of left foot roots, and rise all the way up, both arms stretching wide to the side. Inhale. Exhale, left palm sprinkles down, right fingertips reach up and over. Squeeze the left side body, and then grow your right side body up and to the left. Inhale. Rise through center, then the right fingertips root down, left arm reaches up and over, pelvis presses just a bit forward, gaze inside left elbow crease. Then revolve your left toes to face the top of the mat. Begin to glide into your back body. Keep your right fingertips anchoring you downward. Keep lifting the front line of your body to then lean into the back of your body. Gracefully as possible, use your core and your obliques. Rise all the way through the center. Left toes spin to face the top of your mat. Right foot comes back behind you. So however you need to align, we're gonna rise all the way up to find high crescent lunge. Feet are like train tracks, hips distance apart, soften your shoulders. Then stretch evenly down into the earth and up into the sky. As you exhale, exalt. Left palm comes down to back of right thigh. And then take an inhale, gather your feet toward the midline, and let this erupt all the way up through your right fingertips as you lift your gaze. Begin to shift your torso forward, root down into your left foot. Plant your right fingertips a little bit outside of your left toes, then lift your right foot. Revolved half moon. Spread your right toes really wide. Feel all the anchor points rooting down from left foot into the earth. And then maybe try to float your gaze over your left fingertips. Inhale. Now revolve your torso back to face the top of your mat. Heart points down and forward. Stretch all 10 of your fingertips back behind you, airplane pose. Hug your heart with your shoulder blades. Inhale for length. Then we'll rise all the way up to stand. Skim the mat with your right toes. Maybe you wobble, that's okay. Then pick up your right leg. Arms float above. And exhale, softly step your right foot down. And we'll fold forward. Hook your big toes with your peace fingers, the thumb, the middle, and index finger. As you inhale, press down into your toes and then pull on them with your fingers. Stretch your heart to the top of the mat. Exhale, squeeze, engage through your core to squish your belly to your thighs. Drop your head. One more like that. Inhale, pull on your toes as much as you press down through them. And then exhale, belly to thighs. Plant your palms, step your feet back to high plank. Elongate in the high plank, press the earth away from you. Exhale, chaturanga, lower halfway, elbows to ribs, untuck toes. Inhale, shine your heart to the top. Exhale, downward facing dog, all the way up and back. Take an inhale through your nose. Clearing exhale through your mouth. And we'll go one more round through this sequence, and this time we'll incorporate some extra added little shapes. So inhale, press your right toes down, lift your left leg high, stack your hip, bend your knee, then drop your right forearm to the mat. Stretch left toes as far to the right as they'll go, micro bend the right knee. Inhale, pick up your left toes, pick up your right elbow and your right heel. As you exhale, Hug your left knee to your left tricep, hold and squeeze, curl your core toward your spine, then sink the left knee all the way down. Revolve to face the right side of the mat. Left toes go back behind you, anchor down through knife edge of right foot as you rise all the way up. Then exhale, right fingertips come down, left fingertips stretch all the way up and over, expand. Rise through center, sprinkle left fingertips down to the top of your mat, stretch your right arm all the way up and over, bicep by your ear. Then revolve, right toes to face the back of the mat. Curl your heart to the top of the mat by leaning into your back body. Come back through the side stretch to rise all the way up through the center. Begin to pivot so your whole torso faces the back of your mat. Step into the right foot, low lunge, and then pick up your left knee. Inhale, high crescent lunge. Exhale, right fingertips to the back of left thigh. Left arm sweeps up, lean back. Inhale. Exhale, launch forward to revolved crescent moon. Revolved half moon, right foot roots down, left toes lift up and back behind you. Then swivel your torso toward the right side of the mat. Inhale here. As you exhale, revolve torso back to face the top. Reach all 10 of your fingertips behind you. Staple belly button to spine. Puff your heart, airplane. And then rise to stand, but don't put the left foot down. Skim the mat, then stretch your left toes forward. Inhale. As you exhale, glide all the way back to airplane pose. This time, the arms stretch back behind you. Then begin to bend your left knee. Kick your left heel in towards your glute. Reach with both hands for your left ankle. See if you can interlace your fingers in the front of your left ankle. Now, press down into your right foot. Squeeze your inner thighs together. Squeeze your shoulder blades to the back of your body. Then begin to kick. So it's like floor bow, kind of, but only with one leg. So press your left shin toward the back of your mat. Stretch your heart forward and create a slingshot action so that the more that you kick back through the left ankle, the more your heart stretches to the top of your mat. Keep squeezing the midline by hugging inner thighs together. Lift up through your pelvic floor. One more breath. And then as you exhale, curl your left heel in and we'll stretch the arms forward. Bend into your right knee. Step your left toes all the way to the back of the mat. Warrior two, spiral open to the long edge of the mat. Inhale here. And then as you exhale, we'll sink down into Skandasana. Bend the left knee, lower your pelvis all the way down. Stretch your fingertips forward and bow. So we're sinking really deeply. Keep a magnetization of your heels toward each other to stay active in the stretch. Every time that you inhale, imagine that your spine is lengthening. And then as you exhale, deepen the bow forward. And then press your fingertips down. We'll crawl through a wide-legged forward fold to come to a low lunge facing the back of the mat, so bending into the right knee. Take an inhale to stretch your heart forward. And then an exhale, plant your palms, pick up the right foot, step back to high plank. Shift forward, lower down halfway, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog, open your heart. Exhale, downward facing dog. On your next inhale, lift your right leg high, stack the hip, bend the knee. Left forearm comes down to the mat. Press it down and forward as you micro bend left knee. Inhale. Then begin to straighten the right leg, pick up left elbow and left heel at the same time. Curl your right knee to your right tricep. Inhale here, stretch everything longer. Then softly land the right shin to your mat. Spin to face the left side of the mat. Right toes go back behind you. As you inhale, rise, press into the outer edge of your left foot. Root it. And then find a side body stretch. Left fingertips come down. Right arm reaches all the way up and over. Inhale. Exhale. Switch the stretch. So right fingertips come down. Pelvis presses forward. Keep lifting up and out. So it's almost as if you're pressing your pelvis away from the earth. Then we'll spiral into the back body lean. So the left toes point forward, lean back, gaze back. And then come back through your side stretch. Use your obliques, rise high, spin to face the original top of your mat. Bend your left knee, right toes spin back behind you. Tuck them.
Anchor your big toe mounds, and as you inhale, rise, high crescent lunge, float your fingertips. Then exhale, soften left palm to right hamstring. Reach your right fingertips up, gaze back, lean back, inhale. Exhale, press forward into the left foot as you shift torso forward. Root the right fingertips, then lift your right toes. Pull outer left hip back, pull right hip forward, and spiral your ribs toward the side. Maybe the gaze floats up to your left thumb. Inhale. As you exhale, spin your torso back to face the top. Anchor into your left foot so that you can lift your hands, airplane, stretch and elongate. Then root down from left glute into your heel to rise to stand. Pick up your right foot, lift your thigh, charge both thighs, fingertips float high. This time, as you exhale, we'll glide the right foot all the way back to airplane pose. Fingertips lengthen back behind you. Then kick your right heel in. See if you can bring both of your palms to the front of your right ankle. Maybe interlace them, then flex your right foot. Begin to hug the midline, pull your shoulder blades together, lift in and up through your pelvic floor, root your left big toe. Then start to kick back through your right shin. This is optional. If you'd like to just stay with a quad stretch, that's great too. If you're kicking, only allow your torso to drop as it's necessary, as it's a reaction to the action of the kicking back through right shin. Take one more breath. And then release your grip. Stretch your fingertips forward, point your right toes back, bend your left knee, and then softly land the right foot all the way back behind you. As you inhale, open up to warrior two. Heel to heel align, then stretch out through your fingertips. Inhale. Exhale, Skandasana, bend into your right knee, sink all the way low, fingertips come down. The inhale tractions your spine evenly forward and back to elongate through all of your vertebrae. And on the exhale, you can settle your pelvis, but keep pulling your feet toward each other to stay active. Take one more inhale. And one more exhale, breathe into your right hip crease. Then begin to press your fingertips down. Lift up your hips, so coming through a wide-legged forward fold to crawl the fingertips back to the top of the mat. Low lunge, left foot's forward. Inhale, fingertips pull back, puff your heart. Exhale, plant your palms, softly step your left foot back to high plank and lower chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog, shine your heart. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a big breath in. Big breath out through your mouth. One more time like that. Big inhale, like you're drinking up air from the earth. And let the exhale be clearing. Let it wash through any tension, any tangled knots. And then sink both of your knees down to the mat. Let them be wide. Bring your toes to touch and find child's pose. So you can reach your fingertips all the way forward. And then bring either your chest and your chin down to the mat or your forehead. Take a few moments to settle here. And as you inhale, feel the breath float along the middle channel of your body. So it's like it's gliding up your spine. And then the exhale washes it back down that same channel. Now with that breath, let the inhale lift from your pelvic floor all the way up to your heart. And then as you exhale, breathe into your hip creases and allow your pelvic floor to expand. Notice the simplicity of this shape. Try to let go of anything that you don't need to be actively engaging. And take a moment to find that creative spark again. You can imagine that there's like a little fire in the pit of your belly that's being ignited with something fiery, this spark of inspiration. And then come all the way up through hands and knees to find a seat. So you can spin both of your sitting bones down to the mat, root them, crawl back to the top of your mat if you're not there. Plant your feet and reach your fingertips forward. Take an inhale. As you exhale, we'll slowly roll down to lie on our backs. Keep your belly hugging into your spine and slowly lower down. Shoulder blades are still lifting. Good, and now release. Widen your arms out to a T. Root the back of your head and the back of your heart. Draw your left heel in and then cross your right ankle over your left thigh. Then pick up your left toes and reach for what's accessible, maybe behind the left hamstring, or if it's available, you can hook all the way through so that your palms find the front of left shin. Supine figure 4. Keep the right toes flexed and send your breath through the outer right hip, massaging, clearing, combing away tension. You can close your eyes if you like. And if there's any creative movement that you'd like to take within this shape, you're welcome to. You could rock gently side to side. You could roll out your left ankle. As you inhale, feel your sacrum root, feel the back of your head root. Then as you exhale, really gently encourage your left knee to pull in closer to your left shoulder as the right knee widens. Now, undo the grip of your fingertips. We'll keep the legs exactly as they are. Just stretch your arms out wide and then roll so that the sole of your right foot lands and your outer left leg lands. So a figure 4 twist. Maybe your gaze moves over your right fingertips. Let your gaze be soft. Let your face be soft and your jaw. And then begin to roll all the way back to center. So anchor your left foot down, uncross your right leg, step it down. We'll switch so the left ankle threads over the right thigh. Pick up your right foot. And then reach to grab, find what works for you. Maybe starting with your hands behind your hamstring and then moving toward the front of right shin as the space opens up for you. Let your breath become really soft and really sweet. Take one more inhale here. Last exhale, dig deeper into what you're feeling. And then undo the grip of your hands. Let your arms float out wide. Drop your outer right hip and your left foot to the earth. Supine figure 4 with a twist. Carry your gaze over your left fingertips. Try to find the sensation that feels the most urgent or like the most hardened, and breathe softness and fluidity to that space. Noticing that with the breath and with the awareness, something that once felt hard or stuck might start to feel more open and more free. Find your way back to center. Hug both of your knees into your chest. You can take any final postures that you're craving today if you like, maybe shoulder stand or plow. When you're ready, we'll squeeze into a really tight ball. So wrapping forearms around shins. Take an inhale and take an exhale to feel everything consciously letting go and dropping down. Let the back of your head get really heavy. And then create a visualization for yourself. Something that feels so supported, where you can totally drop. Maybe conjure up an image of a time when you felt so cozy, so relaxed, and very safe. And then let your awareness linger on that image as your body softens into this Shavasana final rest. And start to deepen your breath. Feel it rise and fall. These constant cycles of in and out that never end. As you breathe in, feel something new and bright and inspired enter your body. And as you exhale, clear anything that's old or stale or stuck. And begin to notice all of the little bits of energy that you've created with your movement and your breath. And start to bring flickers of this movement back into your fingers and your toes. And then imagine that you're made of taffy. Stretch your arms back behind you. Point your toes forward and grow infinitely in two directions, reaching longer and longer and longer. Then migrate to one side or the other for fetal pose. Rest your head, rest your palms. Press down into your hands and we'll rise to a seat, finding something that feels very spacious and very free. The knees are wide, the heart is lifting. Let your collarbones expand away from each other to emphasize the glow of your heart. And let that glow radiate everywhere. Draw your palms to meet in front of your heart. Take a moment here to acknowledge the creative source inside of you, this little ember that's always burning. Take a breath to spark the flame, and an exhale to integrate. Know that you are able to tap into this creative source anytime through body movement, through releasing the mind and allowing the body to find new shapes, or even to explore a familiar shape but with something fresh to it, with the freedom to be creative while staying maybe within the boundaries or exploring outside of them. Then lift your thumbs up to your third eye and bow forward. Namaste. Thank you so much for sharing this creative flow with me today. I hope that you found it fun and enjoyable, and maybe that it sparked some inspiration for you to carry with you into the rest of your day or your night. Wherever you are, I hope you're doing really well. If you have a chance before you go and you're not already, go down below and subscribe to my channel because that really supports me. But I will see you very soon in another practice. Bye!